Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, welcome to this full stack training. Okay. So before further we talk about this one, let me introduce myself. Yeah, my name is Sridhar. Yeah, I have about 20 years experience in development as well as the training. Okay. So I worked with multiple platforms. I worked with Java, .NET, Python, Go language. I have experience in different fields as well, both development and training experience. Okay, along with some front-end tools like Angular, React.js, Vue.js, jQuery. So I'm a full stack developer, database developer, applications developer, an architect, cloud developer. Okay, so I have played all these roles. At present, I'm working as an architect, solutions architect. Okay, so this is my profile, and I'm happy. Uh, to share my knowledge, whatever I have, whatever I gained over a period of time. I would like to share with youngsters like you. It will be helpful to you. I hope so. Okay. Yeah, can you introduce yourself, please, one by one, in a minute, please, because I can know exactly. Uh, I mean, uh, uh, about you. So, what are your qualifications, and similarly, any technical expertise do you have? You have any programming background or any other database background or anything like that? I can know. Okay. So, Afreen, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Sayyeda Sumayya Afreen, and I have completed my graduation, my BTech from Vageshwari Engineering College, that is in Karimnagar.
Okay.
And till
Yes.
now, I haven't learned any technical courses.
Okay.
This is my first course.
Fine. Sanjana, about you?
Good evening, sir. Myself,
Yeah.
Sanjay. I have graduated from Computer Science and Engineering from Vageshwari College of Engineering, Karimnagar.
Yes.
I have just basic knowledge about C language and Java
Okay. That
and
means
basic
both.
on HTML and CSS.
Yes, both of you are from same college,
Yeah, same.
Vageshwari. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had, computer science you have taken as your optional course in the BTech.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let me start. And my request is, okay. So first, uh, I mean, uh, I conduct session. If you have any doubts at the end of the session, you should ask questions. Okay. So you should have a
Okay.
paper and pen or pencil in hand. So whenever you hear something new, you can actually note them down. Some running notes also you are supposed to take. Okay. So second thing is this video gets recorded and will be uploaded into the freelance channel. So once session is over, you can, go through that video a number of times. If you have any doubts, till you get clarity, or to refresh from time to time, you can go through those videos. Already we have, we have uploaded few videos related to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, similarly Python introduction, Java related stuff, database related stuff. So those things are already available. Okay, you can visit and you can actually gain some knowledge. Okay, so this particular course is going to be a full stack. Full stack meaning is both front-end development, back-end development, both come under full stack. That means you should know how to develop web pages, okay, using CSS, HTML, JavaScript, or you may be using jQuery sometimes, or it may be Angular or React.js or Vue. So that is basically called as front end. So using that, you develop UI, user interface. Okay, so that is going to be seen in the browser. Fine. Then similarly, you need to code in the backend, something using Java. Similarly, databases like PostgreSQL or MySQL or SQL Server, so or Oracle, these are called as databases. Along with that, you should have some technology, so like Java, or .NET or say Python, Node.js. We have many things like that. So our focus is going to be on Java. So it is a Java stack, full stack Java. Front end is going to be Angular, back end is Java as well as PostgreSQL. So with that, we are going to do our course. Okay, so PostgreSQL is used widely these days. It is somewhat cheaper when compared with the Oracle database management system. Similarly, Java is known to everyone. Okay, I mean, it's a good platform. Many applications actually developed by Java. Okay, so we have chosen Java. So Java, core Java, similarly advanced Java. In that, you learn about actually like serverless technology. Okay, serverless technology, with the help of that, web applications can be developed server side, Spring Boot, all these will be covered. Okay, so basically this is going to be complete end-to-end. End-to-end solutions we are going to give. I mean, you are going to learn how to develop the applications completely with a full stack. Okay. So this is going to be about already, I think those details are shared with you. Fine. So every day it is going to be 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time, like Monday to Saturday. Saturday mostly we can have doubts clearing session. Okay. So from Monday to Friday, whatever we cover, you may have doubts. So practically when you try to, when you are writing some code and whenever you are running it, you may get few errors or you may get some problems or some logic you may be missing. So those things we can clear Saturdays. So it is going to be 6-day session, Monday to Friday, basically for training purpose. Okay. So, and last Saturday, it's going to be session clearing session. Okay. We have on Saturday doubt session, I can say, or whatever doubts or whatever, regarding whatever confusion you have. So that can be discussed and your doubts will be cleared on Saturday. I'm planning something like that. Okay. So this is full stack Java. It is, you are the first, okay, to join with us in this case. So let me, run from the beginning. This is time 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. Okay, then expectations. First of all, you should have commitment to learn. Okay, you should have commitment. With commitment, if you start learning, after some time, you can be, a full stack developer. So initially itself, if you attend simply training sessions, definitely you cannot become perfect and proficient. It's a reality. So you need to work hard with commitment. When you do that, definitely you can be a good professional. So commitment is required from you. Commitment in the sense regularly you should attend sessions and whatever assignments I give, you need to complete those assignments. First thing is punctuality. That is every day you need to attend session. Second thing is whatever assignments I give, you need to complete them. These two are very, very important. Okay. So next thing, in time, as I told. Third thing is going to be, you don't join from phone. Okay. Don't use your mobile to join. So try to use laptop to join. Next thing, as I told, you need to practice. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask, but not in the middle of the session. At the end of the session, you can put questions. Okay, so I can clear them. Okay. As I told, you need to hold the questions till end of the session. Okay, and you need to watch videos in the YouTube channel regularly. So suppose when you hear in the session something, it looks clear only, but after some time you forget it. In order to keep remembering it, you need to continuously watch these videos. So when you watch, actually what happens, it's going to be getting refreshed. Okay, some point when you hear first time, you may not feel confident about that. But if you keep on reading same thing some number of times, what happens? You, feel yourself confident about that. So you need to continuously read whatever documents we share. Similarly, you need to go through the videos, the sessions videos, which we conducted earlier. So it's going to be very, very important. Okay, so we hope you have the commitment, and in time you are going to be joining. You are going to use your laptop or desktop, whatever it is, and you practice the tasks, whatever we give. Okay, and you are going to hold your questions till end of the session. Then at the end of the session, you'll be asking me questions if you have any doubts. Another thing is you have to watch the videos. I hope you are going to do that. Okay, and this is our request actually. Please try to refer this channel to at least, I mean, some friends of you, 10 or 15 friends. So you can actually ask them to, you can refer them. You ask them to join with, take subscription in this channel, and they also can read. They also can gain some knowledge. Okay, so that's fine then. Yeah, if you have any questions on this number, using WhatsApp, actually, you can communicate with Sitaram. Okay, so this is going to be something like question answer session. Fine. So very first thing, as I was saying, actually, I'm starting the session now. So now I'm starting the actual task. So I just launched Notepad, and in the Notepad, first of all, what is full stack? I explain you. So as I told you, full stack is basically stack of technologies. Okay. So in this front-end related, back-end related, database related, all those will be covered. Front-end, basically the UI, what you see on the screen or what you see on the mobile device. Okay. Or what you see in a something like you have tablets. Okay. So all these can be called as front-end. In the front end, you can see them. So that is UI. For developing UI, what we do basically, so full stack meaning is what here? UI development plus backend development plus database. The three things can be called as here full stack. UI meaning is user interface. User interface in the case of web, it's going to be a web browser. In that web browser, you can see HTML pages. Sometimes you may develop mobile apps. So in such case, you may not be using browser. Straight away, you're going to see in the, in the mobile phone or in the tablet. So they can be called as, again, UI. You can call them even as UI only. Okay. But normally, when you develop a website, the website you make actually a responsive site. So the web page can be seen in a mobile browser, on a mobile phone, or you can see that in a laptop or a desktop, or it can be tablet. So as per the device, it can be getting rendered. Such thing is called as responsive design-based application. So your applications must be made as responsive. So what happens with that? They can render on different devices. Okay, you are not going to develop different, UI for different kinds of devices. One and only one, application. So that is going to be getting rendered in different devices. Okay, that is called as basically responsive. So in the UI, you learn those techniques. Next thing is backend development. So front end is basically browser. The browser is with you. When you request something, what happens from your browser? You make a request that goes to server. Server is going to be responding to you. Okay, so server is somewhere away from you. It is in a remote computer. To access server, what normally you do, you use the domain name. With the help of that, you access the server. So server is going to be serving you whatever you request. Okay. That means in the server, you have a program. To write that program, you can use different languages. Java, you can use, C# you can use, Python, you can use, Node.js, you can use, or you can use different types of languages. With the help of that, you do it normally. Okay. So in this course, we are going to use Java. Our applications are actually Java based. So that's why we call it as full stack Java development it is. Also, we are going to use database. So why do we use database? To store data permanently, we use database. So whenever you run any application, first of all, data goes into computer memory. That memory is volatile. That means it cannot be lost in forever. So once your application is closed, automatically it will be removed from memory. So in order to, make the data persistent, you have to put somewhere in a secondary storage device. Okay. So in that secondary storage device, how do you store data? Simply like text, if you save, retrieval can be very difficult. So that's why what we do, we are going to put that data in a database. So database is basically nothing but well-structured collection of data. You can call it as database. It's not only saving data, whenever you want to retrieve very quickly, you should be retrieving data. So by maintaining the integrity of the data. So under no circumstance, you should lose any data. Data should not be getting corrupted. So for that purpose, we have to use database here. We have many types of commercial databases, like MySQL is one such thing. Oracle you have, SQL Server you have, PostgreSQL you have. All these can be commercial databases. But we are going to use here PostgreSQL. With the help of that, we develop the applications. So my request to you is, in your computer, you have to install these things. First of all, Visual Studio Code. Okay, you need to install Visual Studio Code. So it is something like this. I can launch here and I can show you what is exactly Visual Studio Code is. This is called as Visual Studio Code, which is lightweight, which is about 300 MB. Okay, so using this, you can develop HTML pages, you can develop JavaScript pages, similarly CSS, cascading style sheets also you can develop. So this you need to install. It is called as Visual Studio Code. So that you need to install. It is basically an editor. Okay, this you need to install. It is from the Microsoft, which is free of cost. You can download and you can install. Fine. Second thing is, you need to install Java. You need to install Java. Okay, both Java is required. Complete Java is required. That means J2EE, Java 2 Enterprise Edition, we call it as Java 2 Enterprise Edition. Sorry, in between Enterprise, there should not be space. So this you need to install. J2EE, you need to install. Also, you require here the IDE. It's called as Integrated Development Environment. So that is called as here Eclipse. Okay, so Eclipse latest version, Eclipse J2EE version, you need to install. So for writing Java code, you require Eclipse, that also you need to install. Okay, so this is important. First thing is Visual Studio Code. Second thing is J2EE, Java 2 Enterprise Edition, and Eclipse also you need to install. Okay, the next thing here, it is going to be like Node.js you need to install. Okay, you need to install Node.js. This is also very, very important. You have to install Node.js because when you work with Angular, you need to download Angular CLI. Okay, further for development, for network related, you require this Node.js. So you need to install Node.js latest version. And another one is what here? PostgreSQL. So latest version of PostgreSQL, you need to download and you need to install. Okay, so these are the requirements. For developing full stack applications. For developing UI, we use Visual Studio Code. Okay, in that, you can develop HTML pages. You can create CSS. You can create actually like JavaScript. Okay, so jQuery JavaScript, you can be doing with that. Then for backend development, you need to have Java. So that you need to install. Java has to be installed. Okay, along with the Java, you require Eclipse IDE. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Then you require Node.js. So Node.js is very important actually. Whenever you develop any front-end applications, so like SPS we call, single page applications. So in such cases, you need to install different libraries. To install those libraries, you require Node.js. For installation and for actually packaging and for deploying, you can use Node.js. Okay. Similarly, you require PostgreSQL latest version. So these are very, very important. I mean, you need to learn them. Then once you complete working with these things, then in that case, you can become actually a full stack developer. There is huge demand these days for the full stack developer. Okay. But whatever you learn, you should learn in depth. It's very, very important. Okay. It should not be like, again, a academic qualification kind of thing. So you have to learn all these things. Then in that case, this knowledge can give you better future if you utilize it properly. Just simply if you do course, automatically you'll not get. You need to learn these things and you need to market yourself. Then in that case, you can be in a better position. And software is not one-time learning kind of thing. It's very, very dynamic. It's a truly dynamic engineering discipline, in my opinion. It's not like civil, mechanical, or electrical. Electronics and software, they change. They keep on changing continuously. New developments, come in this. Okay, new tools, they emerge. People think in a different way and they make always things better. You have to update continuously yourself. So this is very, very important criteria. You should be willing to learn more and more. You should be willing to update yourself. If required, you need to, reskill, upskill, all these are required in the case of software. Okay. So initially you have to, learn first of all these things. Okay. So full stack development in the UI, backend, and databases. So for that, you require Visual Studio Code, which is nothing but IDE again, integrated development environment. So J2EE, complete Java, Enterprise Edition, you need to install in your system. Along with it, you require Eclipse. Okay, then you need to install Node.js. Other one is going to be PostgreSQL. So these are going to be very, very important for you. Okay, so if you install, then that will be, you can start developing actually the applications. Okay, so I have shown you already what is Visual Studio. In the same manner, I show you what is Eclipse. Okay, so Eclipse is something like this here. It is an IDE. So I just type here Eclipse. So now come to Eclipse and see in this. So this is going to be Eclipse. For running, for developing Java applications, we use it. Okay, so I launch it like with the help of this IDE, you can write Java applications. So this is something, it's a Java application. Just I'm showing you what is Java application. So it's a Java application I have written here. Okay, so when I run this, this is basically a program. With the help of this, I can, my requirement is something like this. Before you write any piece of code, you need to understand the requirements first. It's very important thing actually. Before you write any piece of code, you need to think about actually the problem it is given to you. You need to understand that what actually the subject matter expert is, asking us to do. Subject matter expert means it is not expertism in any programming language. Suppose subject meaning is what we develop applications for industry. We don't know much about the industry. How, for example, take accounting. How accounting works, we don't know. Okay. Similarly, marketing, it may be. We do not know much about how marketing things work. So they give us idea how exactly it should be. Their requirement they tell you. They are the experts in that. So as per their requirement, we need to develop applications. Okay. So first of all, understanding problem is going to be very important. Once you understand problem, you can start coding. But normally people, what they do in a hurry, they start simply coding it. Coding is not difficult job. It's in fact very simple job if you understand the problem. Second thing, if you know the basics of the, basics of the things which I told you. If you are good with basics, advanced things can be very simple and very easy to master that. So always you need to focus on basics and you should learn the basics. Okay, so this is a simple program I have written, and with the help of this, what I do, I want to find out here whether the given number is a perfect square or not. If it is not a perfect square, so in such cases, I can add a number or I can subtract a number to make that number perfect. For example, you come to this point here and I try to give an example. I have a number 225, which is a perfect square. When I enter this number, it should say it is already a perfect square. But suppose I enter here something like 200. Hello? Suppose I enter 200. So in such cases, it should say there are two possibilities. I can add 25 to this, or I can subtract 4 from this. When I add 25, that becomes 225. Similarly, when I subtract 4 from that, that becomes 196. In both the cases, that can be a perfect square. Okay. Similarly, if I have a number like 220, I can add a number to this, or I can subtract 24 from this. But in this case, my requirement is always I have to take a smaller number. So with the smaller number, it can be addition or it can be subtraction. If you take 25 and 4, 4 is smaller. But when it comes here, 5 is smaller than 24. But here what happens? You need to subtract 24 to make 220 a perfect square, or you can add 5. So like this, you need to understand, first of all, the requirement, then accordingly, you should write. So this code is written in Java language. So using Java, I have written here. So when I run it, I should get actually what I expected it should give me. Okay, so I enter now 225 in this case. What it says, 225 is already a perfect square, it's saying. Fine. So next thing again I run, this time I enter something like 200. So what it should say in this case, there are two possibilities. 25 you can add to make it 225, which is a perfect square, or you can subtract 4 from that, so it becomes actually 196. So if I enter 200 here, okay, what it should say now? 4 should be subtracted. It says 4 should be subtracted from 200 to make a perfect square. Because when you subtract from 4 from 200, how much you get? 196. So 196 is basically what? 14 squared. When you take 14 and again multiply with 14, you get 196. But when you take 200, if you try to find out the square root, exactly how much you get? 14.14, something like that you get. That is not a perfect square. Perfect square meaning is what? If you take a number and when you, whenever you find square root, you should be getting integer. But in this case, I'm getting something like like 14.14. So that is not a perfect square. So like this, it's going to be giving us. So this sample program I'm showing you, this is Eclipse basically to write the Java code, we use it. Okay, so here the second is also correct. Now I try with the 220. In the case of 220, it should work with, as I expected, 5 should be getting added in this case. It says 5 should be added to 220 to make a perfect square. So it is working. Fine. Therefore, this is a program I have written. With the help of this, I am getting some result here. So before you write any code, you need to understand the problem. Then accordingly, you should be writing code. So using IDE, Eclipse IDE, this is, so I am writing this code and I am testing it and I am executing it. So to write code and to test it and to, execute it, you require actually tools, IDEs are required. So Eclipse is one such IDE. So with the help of that, I could develop actually here applications. So I developed a simple program which is giving me the output what I expected. Okay, so this is also important for you. In the same manner, you require Node.js and also PostgreSQL, which is called as DBMS or DBMS, Relational Database Management System. So with this, you can be, you can create database, you can create tables in that, you can create triggers, procedures, all the things. Okay, then you can be maintaining your database. So under FullStack, you require first of all these tools: Visual Studio Code, J2EE, Node.js, and PostgreSQL. With the help of that, we can actually develop an end-to-end application. It can be a complete web application you can develop. So you have front end, you have back end, you have database. So all these you are going to do using in this course particularly. Okay, it can be complete full stack. Initially, we are going to start with the UI. So in the UI, you learn about HTML. HTML is actually a domain-specific language. It's not a full-fledged programming language. It's not a general-purpose language. It is only for creating the web pages. Just to create web pages, we use So that's why we call it as domain specific language. Languages can be generic or they can be specific. Only for web pages we use HTML. So that's why we call it as a domain specific language. Okay, there are two types of languages. We can call it as domain specific. Okay, and other thing is what? General purpose. Okay, so general purpose. So using general purpose languages, whatever you want to develop, you can develop for all the things they suit, like C, Java, C Sharp, okay, Ruby on Rails or Ruby, Python. You can call them as actually general purpose languages. But when you go with the domain specific languages like HTML or XML, in the case of HTML, what you can do, you can actually create only web pages. And in the case of XML, you can structure data and you can present it. For that purpose, we use XML. Okay, similarly, JSON you have. JSON is also basically the same manner to structure as well as to like share the data. We use the JSON. XML is somewhat heavy when compared with the JSON. So these days, mostly we prefer the JSON. It's called a JavaScript object notation. Okay, type of data that is. So HTML is what? Domain specific language. You have various HTML elements. With the help of that, you can create a web page. But when you create a web page, it must be looking very attractive. How can you make the web page attractive? With the help of the styles. So that we call as CSS, cascading style sheet. So with the help of that, you can actually design HTML page and you can apply various styles. So the pages are going to be looking beautiful. Whenever you see something, some interface, if it's looking beautiful, if it's looking nice, okay, if it's getting rendered on different devices, and if it's loading fast, in such case only again and again you try to see the site. Again and again, you're going to visit the website. And it should be meaningful, it should be useful to us also. Simply if it's looking beautiful, it's not enough. Okay, if it's simply getting rendered at different devices, it's not enough. So it should be, meeting our requirements. Okay, it should meet its purpose. So in such cases, again and again, we actually see the websites. Okay, so with the help of the CSS, you can make a site beautiful and attractive. So CSS is going to be therefore very, very important. Okay, so we use CSS for styling HTML pages. Similarly, we use JavaScript to make the web pages interactive. In order to make interactive, what you have to do, you must be using the JavaScript. With the help of that, the HTML pages can be interactive. They are not going to be static pages, they are going to be dynamic. Okay, so in order to make your pages interactive, you can use JavaScript. Similarly, to validate the data, you can use JavaScript. Similarly, you want to create some animations, you can do for that JavaScript. Similarly, sometimes you want to get connected to backend. From there, you want to fetch data without refreshing the entire page. So that is going to be basically possible with the JavaScript. So you are going to be learning JavaScript in this. So these are going to be basics actually in the front end. First of all, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Again, there are going to be certain advanced concepts in this, like jQuery. It is nothing but JavaScript framework. Similarly, Angular you have. So Angular is a front-end framework. Similar React.js you have, Vue.js you have. Okay, but we are going to focus on the Angular. That will be covered. Along with the JavaScript, one more thing that's called as TypeScript, which is nothing but superset of JavaScript. That also we are going to cover. Okay, then Java backend. So in the case of Java, initially you learn the core of the Java core language you learn. In that, you learn about various data types, okay, looping constructs, string manipulation, arrays, file IO, okay. So similarly, getting connected to database. So unit testing kind of thing you learn in that. Okay, also you'll be developing some GUI, graphical user interface, collections framework you have in that you are going to learn. Okay, then we go with the servlet technology. So in the servlet, JDBC is another concept you learn, Java database connectivity, servlet technology. Then you'll be learning actually JSP, Java server pages. Then Hibernate, you learn. Hibernate is basically ORM, object relational mapping. So without knowing SQL also, you can get connected to database. Your object data can be saved in a database table with the help of the Hibernate, which is nothing but ORM, we say, object relational mapping. Okay, so that you are going to learn. Then you learn actually Spring. It is nothing but a framework again. Spring Boot, mostly for the web APIs. So all these will be covered. Okay, so in the backend development. Also, you learn about database, particularly what database we are going to cover. That is mostly in demand these days. So that is called as PostgreSQL. Okay, so how to create databases, how to create procedures, how to create functions, how to create views, how to create scripts in that. So that you are going to be learning with the database. Then how you connect Java with the PostgreSQL, how you can be marshalling and unmarshalling data between Java and the PostgreSQL. You are going to be learning in that. So this is going to be our complete full stack development. So in a period of actually say something like 45 to 60 days, I want to cover those things. Okay, so if you are committed, if you are going to be punctual, then yeah, whatever assignments I give, if you complete, then definitely within 2 months time, you can reach to certain stage. Okay, here you are going to learn to some extent to implement, but continuous practice is required and continuous learning is also required. It's not one-time job. So you learn and you get certificate. That's not enough actually. You have to continuously update yourself. As I told, the technology is evolving always. Okay, it's evolving always. So you have to update yourself. Then only you can be in the market. Okay, if you don't care for say 6 months to 1 year time, you may not be in the market. So you have to update yourself continuously. It's very, very important. So we are also going to, continuously keep new videos related to latest technologies which are emerging in our, YouTube channel as well as in our website also. We are going to put all that content. Okay, fine. So far we had actually 3 generations in the web. So 2 generations, Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. Web 1.0 was mostly information centric. Whatever information they had, they just published it. Okay, so people, cannot interact in that case. So whatever content is available, they could see. That was with the Web 1.0. That was around 1995. Okay, then Web 2.0 came into existence. That was actually interactive and that was user centric. First version was information centric. Second version is actually what? User centric. Whatever user wanted to get, user can get. Okay. So now third generation is coming. It's called as Web 3.0. It is going to be blockchain based. So future is going to be blockchain based technology. It's more secure than compared with the 2.0. So in the future, we are going to embrace Web 3.0. Okay, it's not far away. After some 2 to 3 years, people will start using Web 3.0 in a widespread manner. That's my, expectation. Okay, so we are going to cover Web 2.0 in this. Still, it's not clear actually what kind of tools have to be used for Web 3.0. Okay, it's emerging. Fine. So, we cover up to Web 2.0. Future is definitely Web 3.0, no doubt about it. First of all, you have to know what exactly web, how it works. What is exactly HTML, HTTP request? Okay. So what are various methods like get method, post method, put method, delete method, how they work? What these protocols are exactly, HTTP protocol, and what exactly internet is. So internet and web are the same or are they different, or just web is a part of the internet. Like that, you need to have idea on all those things. So we are going to definitely discuss all those things. Okay. And at the same time, whatever assignments I give, you have to do. Okay. So you need to complete and you need to submit it. Fine. Assignments you need to submit. This is going to be very, very important. Sometimes out of the syllabus also, I go and I give you few assignments. These days, internet is available to you. In the internet, you can search, you can gather information. Okay. Then you can present that to me. So that way only you can learn more and more. because the model which nowadays in the education, what we are using is IDE model. It's called an individual data environment. You are an individual, around you, a lot of data is available. Okay, so data is available in the form of books to you, in the form of internet, in the form of friends, in the form of teachers, in the form of family members. It is available to you. You need to utilize that. Then you need to build your own environment. It depends on you. So this is the IDE model. Prior to this, we had SMR model, source, messenger, and receiver. Like that, we have model. So that model actually, at that time, learning was not so good with that model. But these days, you have resources. So many resources are available to you, luckily. So if you use them properly, then definitely you can be a skilled person. So it's all actually skill. Okay, so you need to, continuously, upgrade your skill. You need to update, you need to reskill if required. So these are going to be very important to survive in the software industry. So in this full stack, we cover these things. Fine. If any one of you have any questions, please raise your questions now. Hello. Sanjana, you have any question?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Akshita, you have any question? Okay. Swati, you have any question?
No, but how are we going to submit our assignment?
Using email. I'll share my email. So with that, you can share.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Rahul, you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Fine. Okay.
I just want to say hi, this is Sitaram here. Okay, so I would like to share at the end of this session. Okay, so can I just share my screen?
Yes, I'm stopping it.
So at the end of the training,